of the movie, but in case you needed some kind of wrap-up explanation, here you go. Annie's mom, Ellen, alias Queen Lee, had always been involved with a Naki cult that worshipped King Haman. They wanted to give him a human body, which needed to be part of Ellen's bloodline, thus the title Hereditary. So Ellen first attempted to use her son, Annie's brother. That didn't work out so well.
And of course a suicide note went to her, accusing her of putting people inside him.
By the time Peter was born, Annie and Ellen were estranged, so she wasn't able to get to him. When Annie had Charlie, she offered an olive branch and allowed a co-worker, Wendy Lynn, informs them that an operation in Stockholm has gone south, which is going to increase the pressure on them.
That means there's just Japan. Japan and us.
Well, it's not the first time it's come down to that. Japan has a perfect record, so we're number 2. We try hard.
We don't know exactly what they're talking about yet, but maybe we're just not paying enough attention.
Are you even listening to me?
Oh, I am now. We go to a woman packing a suitcase in her underwear. This is Dana Polk, a college student who's trying to get over a recently terminated affair she had been having with a professor. Her newly blonded bestie Jules tells her she needs to get over it, because they're about to go on a camping trip with a cute guy named Holden, who's a friend of Jules' boyfriend, Kurt. Both the guys are athletic young lads and pretty charming to boot, just like the rest of this cast. And Kurt's no dummy either, since we see him recommend a heady textbook for Dana to use before reminding her of her current attire.
When you have more
2009, it was before Chris Hemsworth was even cast as Thor, but it didn't come out until 2020. I always find that kind of funny. As they finish packing up their RV, they're joined by Dana, the most stonery stoner you could ever find in Stonington.
People in this town drive in a very counterintuitive manner.
And yes, this telescopic bong that can disguise itself as a thermos is in fact behind me on the Killcom set. Editor Zoran provided both. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at A Quiet Place, released in 2018 by director and co-writer John Krasinski. Krasinski took a serious liking to the screenplay written by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, mostly because he had recently become a father, and A Quiet Place is all about keeping your family alive. Adding to how personal this movie became for him, Krasinski's real-life wife, Emily Blunt, co-stars as his in-movie wife. So if you've ever wanted to watch Jack Ryan and Mary Poppins raise a family in a post-apocalyptic world, this movie's for you. The dangerous world in A Quiet Place is inhabited by monsters who will kill the hell out of you if you make any noise. Thus the movie's tagline, if they hear you, they hunt you. Because of this premise, A Quiet Place is a remarkably quiet movie. Just look at the sound waves for the movie following premiere. Now compare them to the sound waves from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which came out the same year. Crazy, right? There are more flat lines there than a hospital with a power outage. It makes for an enjoyably tense viewing experience that'll leave you seriously regretting that order of nachos. How many people end up getting killed because they just couldn't keep their mouths shut? Shh, let's find out and get to that. The movie begins 89 days after an alien invasion that left towns like this one completely deserted. Amidst this silent emptiness, the Abbott family scavenges for medical supplies. Mother Evelyn, a doctor, knows just what to give for her ailing son Marcus, although she has to be very careful not to make any noise while she's grabbing it. Here you go, Marcus. Pills are good. Pills are good. The youngest child in the family is little boy Bo, and he's not as careful as his mom when it comes to being quiet. Luckily, he's got older sister Reagan looking out for him and keeping everyone not killed. Reagan is a deaf character played by actually deaf actress Millicent Simmons, who helped teach the rest of the cast the American Sign Language throughout this movie. As they're getting ready to leave, Bo walks up to them, and the rest of the family reacts like he's pointing a gun at him. Turns out he's just got a noise-making rocket fuel toy that Father Lee has to disable by way of removing the battery. Listen to your pop, that toy's too loud. As the family leaves the farm, Reagan tries to be a good sister and give Bo his toy back, telling him to keep that shit on the DL. Snitches get stitches. But unbeknownst to her, that little bastard grabs the batteries on his way out too. And so it's not long after this family starts heading back home, walking carefully along the sand-strewn path to keep their footsteps quiet, that things go wrong. It happens after we're introduced to a great feature of this, the way it jumps between different hearing perspectives of the characters. Yeah, the movie's not a afraid to go completely silent when we're hearing things from Ricky's perspective. And thus she doesn't realize at first, but that rocket toy starts making lots of noise because Bo has put the batteries back in. Lee bolts towards Bo with silent terror, trying to beat the creature he sees headed towards the youngin', but he doesn't move fast enough. Right before he reaches him, Bo is attacked and killed by an alien monster. That's how you know a movie's playing for keeps, when he kills its cute little kid character in the first 10 minutes. Damn, man, I guess there's not too much to say after seeing something like that. Other than title card. That's a different flag. It's now more than 1 year later, and the Abbott family has done everything they can to adapt to this new way of living, including having a bunch of cameras watching over their property and reminding themselves of their circumstances with admittedly cheesy newspaper headlines and whiteboard music. No, I don't think he would actually write, "What is the weakness?" on his whiteboard, but they've got to give us exposition somehow, and it ain't about to be through dialogue. In a matter of minutes, we learn everything we need to know here. Primarily, that the aliens operate on sound and that there are 3 of them in the area. Great. Although Lee's efforts to contact other countries with SOS radio signals have proven unsuccessful so far, we do see that there are other survivors in this world based on the beacons of Gondor he sees lit up in the distance. We make sure to light a note to let those nearby families know, hey, still here. Never got killed by the monsters yet. Part of the reason they've survived so long enough to check out their entire farm in Christmas lights, is because they've listened to that newspaper headline and are constructing the living quarters underground. This subterranean hang zone. Which, like, damn, Evelyn and Lee, that is a risky move in this world. You literally gotta be quiet all the time. How do you like to have a baby? Number 1 source of crying and loud poopy butts. But for many people, there's no point in living if you can't carry on the species. Thanks, evolution. And risking everything to have a baby is very on brand for this movie's themes of familial love and survival. In further preparation for the baby, they've created a breathing-friendly casket bed full of stuffed animals, and are paper-macheing the walls of the basement to help muffle sound. Other than that, though, they're just trying to live normal lives, yo. Evelyn homeschools the kids, although I guess band is out of the question. Makes floorboard fish dinner, you know, and have that skin to it. And the kids play everyone's favorite quiet board game, Softopoly. Huh, I guess it's actually not that hard to be quiet all the time. Oh, shit! Lee puts out the fire, but they're worried the damage is done. Was that noise loud enough to bring upon the wrath of the Sonic Hunter? A noise on the roof seems to suggest so, but when Lee goes to check out the window, oh, it was just a couple of cute trash bandits. Can't be squealing all loud like that, little buddy, or else you're gonna wind up being alien food. Lee spends a lot of his time trying to educate himself about the human ear so he can fix up Reagan's cochlear implant. It's a lot of hard work, so he's gotta make sure to take the occasional break and be a good husband by silently slow dancing with Evelyn to some Neil Young on their headphones. Good thing they've got Harvest Moon available and aren't just stuck with his latter-day Monsanto material. That would be a bummer. The next day, as Lee prepares their sandwalk and Evelyn listens to their unborn baby's heartbeat, Reagan tries to go into her dad's basement workshop only to be told no, she is not allowed down there. Lee tells her that she knows why she's not allowed, but I'm actually not sure. Because she's annoyed? I don't know. He tries to give her his latest hearing aid over, but she's resistant because his attempts to fix the implant never seem to work. And sure enough, this latest iteration doesn't appear to have done the trick. Reagan is a headstrong middle girl, and despite the dangers, she wants to come with Lee on one of the scavenging missions. But he tells her that she needs to stay home with Evelyn, and instead takes along Marcus, who is not excited to leave the safety of the sunset. Lee takes Marcus to a river to collect some fish, and it's there that he fills him in on the little secret. They can make small noises as long as there's something louder around them, like a river, to drown them out. And if they want to make big noises, well, waterfall! Chug, chug, chug! It's actually impressive how out of place human dialogue sounds when you finally hear it in this movie. In fact, the sound design, done by Eric Adal and Ethan Vanderlyn, sound editors who have worked on everything from Lord of the Rings to Transformers, has been nominated for an Academy Award. Sadly, it's about the only representation the horror genre got from the Oscars, because Annihilation and Toni Collette were fucking robbed. During the father and son's waterfall-covered conversation, Marcus asks Lee if he blames Reagan for the death of Bo, and more pointedly, if Lee still loves his daughter. Of course I do.
You should tell him.
Because even though a year has passed, Bo's death still weighs heavily on everyone in this family. Evelyn is behind the quiet cry in Nicholas' room, and Reagan, who blames herself for her little brother's death, sneaks away from home to visit his memorial and leave the toy rocket ship there, only after neutralizing the foundation's capabilities, of course. A Quiet Place is as much a dramatic family story as it is a horror movie, and that's okay. On their way home from the waterfall, Marcus and Lee run into an old man in the woods who's standing over the body of a woman. The lady is likely his wife, and it looks like she's been eviscerated. I'm assuming she got clawed down by the aliens, or maybe her husband. Who knows? In any case, it scares the living shit out of Marcus, and Lee does his best to tell the old man to SCFU, but the dude doesn't listen, and instead, after he sees his own chin, what the fuck, he lets loose a loud sound of anguish. Lee and Marcus hide, and the guy gets killed in an apparent suicide by monsters. Hey, to be fair, it seems like the monsters kill you quickly, so if you're looking to go out, might as well cause a ruckus and do it that way. Back at home, Evelyn's menial laundry work ends up being a forebearer of danger after she accidentally exposes a nail with her step. That proves to be pretty inconvenient later on, after she discovers that her water has broken. As she heads downstairs to flip on a warning light, she steps right onto the nail. But thankfully, Evelyn is one tough lady, and she manages to stay quiet even as she has to pry her own foot free. Unfortunately, she knocked over a glass pitcher, so after she makes it over to a light switch and activates the red warning light from outside on the car, she goes to return upstairs only to find there's an alien in the house. And I don't think it's here to be a midwife monster. Evelyn thinks fast and sets an 8 timer on the shelf, then bloodily steps her way over to the other side of the basement to hide. The monster comes downstairs and, with its super gross superheater, detects the ticking of the 8 timer. After the alarm goes off, the alien freaks out and attacks her, affording Evelyn the chance to escape upstairs. Lee and Marcus make it back home and see the red warning light, which sends them into a panic. He assigns Marcus to Rocket Baby so he can
Fucking disgrace the sniper.
By now has made it into a bathtub where she's painfully awaiting to give birth, biting her tongue to stay hidden from the monster creeping up behind her. Luckily, Marcus doesn't take a long time, and he becomes a Rocket Man right before it's too late. The noisy distraction is seen by Reagan, who starts heading home, while Lee runs into the house with a shotgun at her end. He follows his wife's bloody footsteps upstairs, and although she's missing from the bathtub, a cheap jump scare alerts him that she's now hiding in the shower along with their beautiful new replacement baby. Maybe keep the toys away from this one, huh? Lee carries his wife and newborn over to the maternity barn so they can deal with this baby, who immediately begins wailing his little baby lungs out. Yeah, you better get under that mattress hole cover, bud. But don't worry too much about the Abbotts. They're very prepared for this moment. Look, it's a baby in a box. The newspaper walls in their underground room work well enough to allow them to talk. So in her first spoken dialogue of the film, Evelyn tells Lee to go find their other kids and bring them back home to safety.
Who are we? We can't protect them.
He promises her and heads out from their underground room, somehow not noticing that a nearby broken pipe is currently flooding the entire lawn. Seriously, how did I hear that? And what broke that pipe? Monsters, I guess? On her way back to the farm, Reagan is unknowingly approached by one of the monsters coming out of the cornfield. Although her disability prevents her from hearing that it's behind her, there is a reaction with her new cochlear implant that causes discomfort for both of them. The noise ends up being so painful to the alien monster that it runs away, and when the implant winds down, that she's got some monster radar in the back, I think, right? Is that what she's realizing there? She continues on her way and meets up with Marcus, so together they head to the top of the grain silo and light a signal fire to show where they are. But eventually they run out of lighter fluid, and although Marcus wants to save her, believing that he will come for them, Reagan doesn't have as much faith in their patriarchal protector. Back in the barn, the broken pipe has by now flooded the underground safety chamber, leading the newborn Abbott baby to find itself in a real Moses situation. Even worse, one of those monsters is somehow downstairs now, so Evelyn has to very quietly grab her baby and hide behind the makeshift waterfall while the monster flips at her and uses echolocation like a dolphin. Makes sense. It's like I always say, dolphins are the alien monsters of the sea. Before it can fully detect her, though, the argument between the kids leads Marcus to fall into the grain silo room, and that noise distracts the alien away from Evelyn and the baby. It also alerts Lee to where his children are, and he watches as the monster runs towards the sound like a goddamn velociraptor. Reagan jumps down to save her brother from brain entrapment, which, like I mentioned in the Jigsaw kill count, is a seriously scary way to die. Oh, also, fun fact that I really like, apparently the filmmakers spent their budget locally, including hiring local farmers to to grow the 20 tons of corn needed for this scene. They also actually built that 70-foot silo and planted cornfields on the farm a year before production began. So they kind of helped revitalize this little farming area in upstate New York. The kids avoid drowning in grain thanks to a flat piece of wreckage that they both managed to get on top of. See, Jack and Rose, two people can think. It's not that hard. Unfortunately, this whole corny mishap has caused way too much noise already. The kids shield themselves from the monster, who gets agitated over the feedback from Reagan's cochlear implant, and eventually gets so incensed that it runs away from them, tearing itself free through the side of the silo. Them monster claws be sharp, son. Lee gets over to the silo and finally reunites with his children, but after a brief check-in with each other, they hear the monster nearby, so he sends the kids to a truck that they have situated on a hill in case of emergencies. Lee arms himself with an axe, but he's too slow against the monster, who knocks him aside and causes Marcus to call out. The feedback in the cochlear implant gets to be too much for Reagan to handle, so she turns it off, inadvertently leaving them vulnerable to the monster when it charges at the truck to attack them. Lee gets back up and sees that his children are in jeopardy, but he knows that he doesn't have the strength to fight the monster off, and so he decides to do the only thing he can think of. He signs to his daughter that he loves her, in fact, that he has always loved her, and then gives her and his son the chance to escape with their lives. With that, the alien runs from the truck and charges at Lee, killing him with a swipe that the movie doesn't show us. This is one of those occasions where I won't complain about an off-screen kill, because we don't need to see this self-sacrificing father get torn to bloody bits. Marcus shifts the truck out of park, and as Reagan watches the horror behind them, the vehicle rolls quietly down the hill and back to the farmhouse, where Evelyn is waiting to embrace the kids with love and protection. That protection means keeping these kids alive, so they all head into the basement, where the baby is still safe, and Reagan finally sees how much work her father had been putting in towards making her a new cochlear implant. Aw, don't cry, little girl. Not everyone can keep a neat workspace. With Marcus on baby duty, Evelyn is free to use the shotgun, which is about to come in handy. One of those monsters is coming downstairs. It approaches Evelyn and Reagan slowly, trying to detect them, and that's when Lee's ridiculous whiteboard notes come in handy for Reagan. She realizes that the feedback from her cochlear implant, while painful for her, is an even bigger weakness for the monster, who is brought to its crab-like knees at the high-pitched sound. Inspiration strikes Reagan, and she slams the device against the microphone to create a supersonic attack that cracks the xenomorph monster's head right open, exposing the vulnerable flesh beneath its armor-like veneers, and allowing Evelyn to put it down with a headshot. Oh, hell yeah! I'm not gonna put the alien on the count, cause it's not exactly human. But that doesn't mean it wasn't a good kill, Evelyn. Keep up the good work. She's gonna need to keep it up, too. Just remember what else was on the whiteboard of expedition? The fact that there are 3 aliens in the area. And it looks like that shotgun blast would draw the other 2 running towards the homestead. But as we've all seen by now, the Abbotts are strong, and the Abbotts are survivors. So the movie ends with Reagan turning up the radio in preparation for the feedback, and Evelyn cocking that shotgun like a mummy crook. There were only 4 kills in the fight, and the victims consisted of 1 woman and 3 dudes. Although that first dude was a real little dude. For the runtime of 90 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 22.5 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to Bo. It's not particularly graphic, but it was obviously super impactful, not only to the viewing audience, but also to the characters. Never quite got over it. Dawn Machete the lamest kill will go to the woman in the woods. There was even less blood involved? I don't know. This movie's not really about the kill. And that's it. A Quiet Place was released in 2018 and has a sequel in development slated for May of 2020. I'll have another episode for you next week. Until then, I'm James Engineer. It's been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count. I want to thank the people who helped bring ASL to the numbers thing. That includes Zach, David Wheeler, Jet Valaire, Liz Zarb, Alyssa Dell, Krista Allen, David, and Justin Cruz. I know my signing probably isn't the best. I've never done it before. But I wish I had learned it. It seems like a very practical language to know. Thanks, everyone. Be good people. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James Engineer, and today we're looking at the Mist, 2007 Frank Darabont film based on the novella that I actually managed to read in preparation for this video. Mist is Frank Darabont's 3rd Stephen King after writing in directly wrote Shawshank Redemption in 94 and The Green Mile in 99. And after The Mist, Paramount would go on to create The Walking Dead, why you'll find no less than 4 actors here who eventually wound up on that show. The Mist tells the story of survivors trapped in the supermarket after they had all roles in the town and companies and everything around them, having visibility down to nothing and hiding movies that go bump and shit. While it may sound like a simple monster movie, The Mist spends more time examining how human beings react to moments of crisis. There's a lot of philosophical and religious discussion to go around as the situation grows ever more dire. One last note, I initially watched this movie in the black and white version because that's how Darabont wanted it to be made and shown. But I'm using the color print for this video because that's the way it was released. And because of the none of the Dead Show reviews or any indication, y'all don't give a damn about black and white. Alright, let's give it a kill. The movie begins with a storm in the small town of Bridgeton, Maine. Local artist David Drayton, 30-year-old son Billy, and wife Stephanie down in the weather now. They called Dave because this one's a doozy, as evidenced by the giant tree popping into the living room. While surveying the damage from everywhere, they find another tree is falling into the motorhome. They look across the lake and notice some smoke on the water. Luckily, no fire in the sky. David walks over to his neighbor Gordon. Returning played by Oscar Rowley, the steering and notes his history of broken boathouse. Gordon's had a bad morning too. Storm also claims his pride car. David offers his condolences, but he's only have a fraught relationship. Gordon had to be suspicious and ask him for property boundaries. Man, boathouses, prized cars, property boundaries, he's kind of missed this guy as a walker to have those problems.
Fucking
Gordon hits
bitch.
the Billy to head to town for supplies. On the way, they see a bunch of trucks heading to a nearby village. That on the radio station and phone shutting down, something's clearly gone wrong. Inside the store, we meet somebody down Combo Pass. Most important are Ollie, an unassuming guy who has promised he will love by the end of the movie, and Mrs. Carmen, played by Marsha Gay Harden, who has promised he will hate as the finder of the movie. Others include Irene, an elderly school teacher, and his friend Abby, a trio of military youths from Arrowhead, including Private Star Killer Jessup, who has the eyes for store and Ellis, and Amanda Dumpster, Irene's fellow school teacher. The military police officer shows up at the store to tell the soldiers that the movie is canceled, and after a bunch of emergency vehicles drive by, a siren goes off. Running to the store is Dan, Richard's very own Paul Revere. He tells them to shut the doors and stay inside, but one dude decides to run for his car instead. The Mist moves over the shopping complex. It engulfs everything in his path. Although we see a bunch of people down there, I'm only going to count the dude who ran out on the now because he had a line of dialogue, and we hear him scream off screen. Congrats, man, guys. You're our first show of the video. The giant tremor shakes the store, knocking everyone over and destroying the big number of hundreds of process. We immediately start theorizing about what's going on. Old nuclear handlers and some kind of chemical plant. While Mrs. Carmody goes for a much simpler try to keep flat. After a kid left home, Gordon offers him a company. Everyone diverts their eyes, so she leaves the store without them, heading off into the mist alone to go find her saber game. Sometime later, David heads into the back room to get a blanket for Billy and finds the generator. Okay, going. Somebody stop this. He turns it off, but on his way back, he hears really loud screaming and sees the loading dock gate get bumped. He asks Ollie and his 2 mechanics, Myron and Jim, if they heard it, but they just think he's doing it up. They're joined by another store employee, Norm, who I didn't mention earlier because I figured everybody knows his name. They all head to the back room, where Myron says something wrong with the generator's exhaust on the outside, so Norm volunteers to go out there and unlock it. They try to stop it, and Jim calls it a big old stick. They open the gate a bit, and while they're laughing at David's sense of caution, a tentacle grabs Norm's leg, pushing him to the ground. David tries to shoot him, and fear, and the tentacle puts skin to Norm's leg and neck. Ollie goes and grabs a fire ant. Before he can bring it down on the tentacle, Norm is pulled away. The tentacle keeps on coming, like pop-ups on a hentai site. Norm is dragged out to his death off screen. David and Ollie get the game close. The tentacle starts to retreat. David breaks him off a piece of that swing bike off and closes out a wonderful action for him. After David breaks and punches Jim in the face for getting Norm's killed, they come out of that room and David is sure while talking to Amanda. Well, she don't mind. The fellas are all stood up when they realize the entire front of the store is swinging flat. So they start doing what every American does in times of stress. They try to recruit Jordan to help them warn everyone. The big shot, respectable attorney, he doesn't believe them one bit, thinking they're playing a trick on him. He's been out of town, so he has to back behind their little staff and trying to get attention of everyone else in the store. Including Over Bud, to write down every name.